Hey guys, so now that we have our high score, it looks a little bit silly to have some nice UI already set up for our score, and then our high score is just this little ticker that we checked off again. So we're going to go ahead and update this so that it looks exactly like our score. So the first thing we're going to do is check off the high score, and we're going to go ahead and create a new costume. So we could do it this way, but a lot of our code is going to be the same for this. So we can actually just right click and duplicate this. We're going to rename this high score. And then we're going to go into costumes and we're going to change it by clicking on our text tool. I'm going to type in high score. And then if we want to, we can also change the color of it so that we know the difference between our score and our high score. So I'm just going to go ahead and change the fill color, maybe make it just a little bit darker, just so that we know the difference between our high score and our score. Once we have that, we can go back to our code. We're going to have to change the X and Y position. So again, I'm just going to drag it. We could either put it right below, but if you see, that kind of takes up a lot of our screen space. So I'm just going to go ahead and move this to the side over here. And still give it enough space to add our actual counter for our high score. So now that I have this positioned, I just have to change my X and Y like I have down here to update this. So this is going to be 27 for my X, and then for my Y is going to be 148. So now that I have that all set, the next thing that I want to do is create the counter, and it's going to be the same kind of process. So we're just going to duplicate this score number. We're going to rename this high score number. I'm just going to remove the 2 from it. So the nice thing about this is we don't have to worry about this digit because it automatically creates it for this sprite only, because that's how we set up the other one. And it'll also base it off of the name here, so we don't have to worry about anything there. The only thing that we do need to do is we're going to have to change this. So instead of score that we're going to remove, we're going to make this high score that we want it to show. So now, just like the last time, we're going to have to move this. So we're just going to click on the green flag and click on play. I'm going to have to move this across. So for our X is where it's going to have to change. So let's go ahead and try 100 for right now. I'm going to click on my green flag and click on play. So here it is. Just going to have to continue moving it. It'll probably have to be a positive number to move it all the way across. So let's try 100. As you can see, it's right over here. I'm going to go ahead and move this again. So let's try 130. I'm going to click on my green flag. So let's do 160. Okay, not quite there. So I'll try 170. Let's try 190. Alright, that seems like a good spot for it. So now that I have that, maybe I might want to move it a little bit down from my Y. So I might change this to 145. Just to bring it down a little bit. The other thing we might want to do is change the color of it. So we're going to go back into my costume. I'm going to go to my high score, click on my paint bucket tool, click on my fill, and use my eyedropper to click on the exact color. And then I'm going to go to my high score number, and I'm just going to go and just click on it to change the color so that it matches my high score color, just so that we have everything kind of working the same way so it doesn't look a little bit off. Okay, so I'm clicking and I'm all set. So now you see it's the same color of it. And now when we test out our game, we can see that it automatically updates for us. So that's awesome. So just make sure you guys are testing it out. Remember that the first bubble on the X side and the bubble on the Y side is what's going to move it. And then just make sure that it's a different color. It could even be even more of a different color than this, so it doesn't have to be a lighter or a darker version of it. I just did this to be a little bit fast. But remember to do those added changes, and it's always good to test out your game to make sure that everything is running the way that you want to.